Let's be honest, we all use it pretty much every single day. We're saving our photos, our documents, our entire digital lives to the cloud. But have you ever actually stopped to think about what the cloud even is? Okay, let's dive in and figure out what's really going on when you hit save.
For most of us, the cloud kind of feels like magic, right? It's this abstract, out-of-sight place where our files just live. It's almost like a digital heaven, always there, always ready when we need it. But of course, it's not magic.
So that's the big question, isn't it? When you upload that vacation photo or that super important work file, where is it physically going? I mean, it's not just floating around in the sky. Let's get to the bottom of this.
The truth is way more down to earth, and honestly, it's a lot more interesting. We're about to pull back the curtain on one of the biggest, most misunderstood concepts in modern tech.
And this right here, this just lays it all out. We think of a fluffy, white cloud. The icon on our screen is literally a cloud. But the reality? It's a massive, very physical building that's packed to the rafters with computers. Your data lives on the ground in a very, very real place.
So at the very heart of the cloud is something called a data server. The easiest way to think about it is like a super powerful computer, and you're just renting a tiny little piece of it. When you upload a file, you're really just sending it over the internet to be saved on one of that machine's physical hard drives.
And companies don't just have one of these servers. Oh no, they have thousands. Hundreds of thousands, housed in these enormous buildings they call server farms. These are real, physical warehouses just full of humming computers, and they're located all over the world.
And here's the really clever part, how they keep your data safe. It's a concept called redundancy. What it means is they make copies of your files and store them in completely different server farms. So even if one of those buildings gets hit by an asteroid or, more likely just has a power outage, your data is still totally safe and sound somewhere else.
Okay, so we know where it is now. But how does the whole process actually work from your end? Well, just think of it like you have a giant virtual locker that you can get into from anywhere.
It's really just a simple three-step dance. First, you upload. You send your file from your phone or your computer over the internet. Second, it gets stored on a server owned by one of the big guys, Google, Apple, Microsoft. And third, you can access that file from any other device, as long as you can get online. Simple as that.
And when you really get how that works, you start to see why the cloud is so incredibly powerful. It gives us, the users, some pretty incredible digital superpowers that we totally take for granted.
I mean, think about it. You can get your files from anywhere, so you can forget about those old USB drives. You can edit a document on your laptop, and poof, it's instantly updated on your phone thanks to automatic syncing. Sharing is so much easier. You just send a private link instead of blasting it out on social media. And maybe the best superpower of all? It's a disaster-proof backup. Your computer could literally explode, and your files would still be okay.
And hey, it's not just about your personal files. The cloud has completely changed the game for teamwork, especially now with so many people working remotely. You can have multiple people collaborating on the exact same document at the same time from anywhere on the planet. I mean, that's a true game changer.
Okay, so it all sounds pretty great. But like with anything that seems a little too good to be true, there are trade-offs. Using the cloud has some hidden costs and risks that you absolutely need to know about.
First, the obvious one, no internet, no files. Simple as that. Second, that storage space isn't bottomless. The free plans are usually pretty small, and sooner or later you're probably going to have to pay for more. But let's get serious. The biggest risks are all about your privacy. You have to remember that not all companies have your best interests at heart, and some of those free offers are just scams designed to get and sell your personal data.
That old saying is more true here than pretty much anywhere else. If a service is offering you a ton of storage for free, you gotta ask yourself, how are they making money? A lot of the time, the answer is they're scanning and selling your data.
So, what's the real difference between a free and a paid plan? Well, it's pretty stark. Free plans usually give you a little bit of storage and some basic security. The catch? They might actually be scanning your data to target you with ads. Paid plans, on the other hand, offer you massive amounts of space, way more advanced security features, and much, much stronger privacy protections. For example, a service like Google Drive is incredibly useful, especially for working with other people. But Google is also a company that's known for collecting user data to target ads. Now, while your files aren't likely to get hacked, this business model just makes some people really uncomfortable about storing their sensitive information there. And all of this brings us to the final and probably most important part.
How do you choose a cloud service that actually protects what matters most to you?
If privacy is your #1 priority, you don't need to read pages and pages of legal jargon. You just need to look for one single, incredibly important feature.
That all-important feature is called zero-knowledge encryption. And this right here is the absolute gold standard for privacy. Here's why it's so powerful. It means your files get encrypted on your device before they're even uploaded. The cloud company holds on to the scrambled, unreadable file, but they don't have the key to unlock it. Only you do. That means nobody else can see what you've stored. Not hackers, not the government, not even the company's own employees.
So that's the ultimate question I want to leave you with. Thanks to that redundancy we talked about, most cloud services will keep your files safe from being lost. But that does not mean they're private. So before you upload your next file, just ask yourself, is this service just keeping my data safe, or is it also keeping it private? The choice, ultimately, is yours. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.